I want to also directly thank the presenters of the Climate Crimes Against Nature case for such a deeply compelling and critical testimony about climate change and particularly false solutions. The climate change presenters have made a well-founded argument illustrating the ways in which the rights set forth in the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth have been fundamentally violated by global temperature rise and by a myriad of false solutions being proposed for mitigation. If global mean temperatures continue to rise, risks to ecosystems and livelihoods will surpass tolerable levels. And we as human beings will simply not be able to inhabit many places that we do now. And obviously, we're talking about a crisis that is becoming more and more urgent, literally every breath we take. The arguments that they made it clear that the consequences of climate change are leading to irreversible and fatal changes to the very web of life. Because of this, and the destructive pressures from capitalism based on endless material growth, an extractive economy, and a worldview based on domination, patriarchy, and colonialism, we can see that there are grave violations of Mother Earth's rights that are not only destroying animals, forests, rivers, oceans, and the atmosphere, but are bringing into question the very existence of the human species, us. Pledges by nations to cut carbon emissions fall very short of those needed to prevent climate catastrophe. So this is certainly not a time to be timid or to think we are in a rehearsal for a transformative revolution at a later date. The time is irrefutably right now. The fossil fuel industry, our governance structures, and corporate institutions must be held accountable for these violations against nature. While many world leaders hold on to the notion that we can postpone reductions in fossil fuels that are commensurate with the crisis at hand, nature is clearly demonstrating to us that Earth's natural laws cannot be manipulated, purchased, compromised, or ignored. The case presenters today have shown us that climate destruction is one of the many symptoms of the underlying forces of class-based, hierarchical, capital-dominated economics that subordinate and disempower billions of people worldwide. From the arguments, we can see that false solutions such as geoengineering, carbon capture and storage, nuclear energy, carbon markets, and quote-unquote climate-smart agriculture are only furthering violations to Mother Earth's rights. Geoengineering is a techno-fix that interferes with the natural laws of our Mother Earth. And geoengineering is doubly dangerous and destructive because it not only interferes with the Earth's natural ability to balance herself, it also just does nothing to address any of the root causes of climate change. It just substitutes for what we should really be doing. Likewise, the presenters have shown us that we must address serious problems created by trade deals like the TPP, the way that they can be used against ambitious climate policy by giving foreign corporations the right to directly sue governments for new laws or regulations that they claim negatively affects their bottom line. You have shown us that market mechanisms are a violation of Mother Earth's rights, allowing for escalating destruction through the buying and selling of the right to pollute through schemes like carbon trading. So it's not a surprise that in these schemes, nature is assumed to be a commodity and that the commodification and financialization of nature is inherent in the capitalist system. When we think about the rights of nature, we have to ask, do we have the right to sell and destroy something that belongs to everyone and should be a shared commons? And does it make any sense to try to protect nature and heal our damaged ecosystems by further subjecting nature to an economic and legal system that caused the damage in the first place? I've been deeply moved by the tribunal and all the cases that we have heard today. Our Mother Earth is calling out to us, and our hearts are breaking. She is letting us know that we are on a path of great devastation. And today our hearts also break for our fallen sisters and brothers, defenders of the land, whose stories we have heard, and also those around the world. And while it is true that the Earth will live on and survive even if we do not, it is tragic to think that our mark as a species on this beautiful planet will be one of destruction and violence instead of beauty-making, dignity, and harmony with nature. The presentations make it clear that our legal and economic frameworks are at war with the sacred web of life. Clearly, we need an entirely different legal configuration that recognizes that Earth's living systems are not the enslaved property of humans for our exploitation. In order to live in harmony with the Earth and safeguard a healthy world for present and future generations, we need to reform the destructive aspects of our modern life. The climate change testimony highlights the urgent need to address actions that are real solutions based on climate justice and respect for the natural laws of our Mother Earth. I will briefly name here 10 of a myriad of actions we need to take in concert given the scale of this crisis. 1, we need to advance a new society based on social justice and environmental sustainability that recognizes human rights and the rights of nature. 2, we must limit global warming to well below 1.5 degrees. 3, divest from fossil fuels and invest in clean energy. 4, end old growth and natural forest logging to limit climate change and sustain the biosphere. 5, respect all governmental treaties with Indigenous peoples and defend their right to continue to inhabit traditional lands undisturbed by industrial projects and extractive industries. 6, reject greenhouse gas emission reduction schemes that come from high-risk technologies like geoengineering and nuclear power. 7, mandate that trade agreements put long-term climatic stability over short-term trade and special interest lobbying, that trade agreements must be tied to justice, and we need to dismantle current corporate structures. 8, address unsustainable consumption and production in the global north and recognize historical responsibilities of industrialized countries. 9, leave 80% of the remaining fossil fuel reserves in the ground and stop further fossil fuel exploration and development. And 10, immediately transition to 100% renewable energy sources and decentralize and democratize ownerships of this new energy economy. In this sense, uplifting the rights of nature can address our dysfunctional economic system and support the transition we need. We need to support movements and governance and economic structures that are not based on endless material growth and instead envision a new way of living that is based on care for each other and Mother Earth. A society with a new understanding of ourselves, progress, and well-being. My last point is that Sumak Kausai, as we've heard from our Indigenous relatives, living well, coming from the great wisdom of our sisters and brothers of the South, offers us an important direction forward to overcome current concepts of development and well-being. And we need to embrace these ideas of Sumak Kausai as we think upon reparation, mitigation, restoration, and prevention of further damages and harm to each other and Mother Earth. What is critical about rights of nature is that it can help us reconnect with Mother Earth. This is essential because underlying so many of the root causes of our destructive relationship with nature is a belief by so many people that we are separate from nature. This sense of disconnection from our living Earth has proven to be not only spiritually heartbreaking, but a disaster in the human experiment. My hope is that in finding our current legal and economic systems in violation of nature's rights, we will have a deeply needed societal transformation. The International Rights of Nature Tribunal has heard the climate crimes against this case in tribunals in Ecuador, Peru, and now here in France. And we close this case today finding that the fossil fuel industry and all actors, including the government and corporations that are engaged in false solutions to climate change, are in violation of the rights of nature. And that more deeply, the current economic and legal systems that perpetuate treating nature as our slave and commodifies the very web of life are, in fact, in violation of the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Nature. Thank you.